Hi, my name is Elizabeth, the librarian here at the Dallas Public Library. And last time we learned how to cross-stitch this little mermaid, and today I'm going to tell you how to finish it in a hoop so you can hang it up and display it. So some of the things that you will need or will be handy to have while you're framing in a hoop are the following. Obviously, the cross-stitch, your finished cross-stitch, the hoop that you want to frame in, and a backing fabric to cover the back of it and make it a little bit prettier and neater, and some tacky glue or other fabric glue. And then I have 2 pairs of scissors here. That's just to get, for the smaller ones to get closer, but you'd only need 1 pair. And the needle nose pliers are to help tighten the hoop as much as it can. And then ribbon to hang. These are optional because you could always just prop up the hoop. And then a ruler is also handy to have to make sure stuff is centered. And the first thing you do after you've ironed is you're going to cut out backing fabric to the size of your piece. So you could measure the piece and then cut out a fabric accordingly. I like to put the stitching on the fabric I'm using. And now I have the backing fabric that's about the same size as the stitching, the mermaid. So our goal is to more or less get the mermaid center in the wooden hoop before we glue. So first thing I'm going to do is loosen it so it opens. And I like to open this pretty wide. So what I like to do is I take the inner ring of the hoop and slide it under the fabric, aiming for center as much as possible. And because sometimes you can see through it and see the hoop, but you can also push it down and kind of see the outline. And so from here, I'm actually going to use a smaller ruler, my hem gauge, to kind of see how much from the sides I am. Now is where you push on the top ring and hold it up at a distance and see if it is center or not. So, because it will most likely move as you do it. So just like putting the fabric in the hoop when we cross stitch, we're going to do the same thing. And so I've put it in. I have to bring it towards me so I can make sure the bottom hoop is in there, and I'm pushing it in. Turn it over, and it's, if you remember in the other video, it's the same thing where you pull up and tighten the fabric to get it in there tight. And you want to make sure it's smooth, that you don't have any bumps. So, have that in there, and now here's where we hold it at a distance and see if it looks centered to us, like if it were hanging somewhere. Depending on how much of a perfectionist you are, you can either be good with it or try again. So I've adjusted the mermaid to where I like it, and it's looking pretty good to me. So now is the time where you tighten the hoop as much as you can. So we're going to repeat the process of pulling the backing fabric and the Aida up and in to get a really taut look, and then start tightening the hoop. Now you just tighten it. And when you can't tighten it anymore with your fingers, that's when you bring out the needle nose pliers. So I'm going to hold that one and use the needle nose pliers to turn it until it feels like it's not moving anymore. And again, like when you're stitching, you want it nice and tight. I like to kind of tap on it to see if I get like the side of the drum. So I'm going to call this good. And now we are going to the next step of cutting off some of this excess fabric before you can get it really tight to glue it down. Alright, so we have the hoop tightened as we like it, and now it is time to trim this fabric so we can get ready to glue it in. And I'm just going to cut this to like 1 inch to 1/2 inch. I'm not going to take it all the way to the hoop yet. Using my smaller scissors, because it's easier to get close to this, I'm going to cut all the way, and I'm going to hold my scissors, keep it running along the hoop so it gets as close to the hoop as possible. she is. So now we're ready to glue this, and as I said, we're going to use tacky glue. You want a fabric glue that dries clear. So this glue will come out white, but as it dries, it will be clear. So I'm actually going to put glue in here and push it down so it helps to stay down, and it will just kind of look a little bit better if that's not poking up so much. And now we're just going to put a thing of glue. Then I use my finger to kind of push the fabric down while spreading the glue on both sides of the hoop. I like to use my little scissors to kind of push down and make sure it's glued. Again, not required, just something I do to make sure it lays down. So now you wait for this to dry. It dries all the way clear in about an hour, and then you can put a second coat on, which is what I like to do, so you know that the fabric is glued to the hoop. So we have let this dry some, and now we're ready to add the ribbon so it can hang. Now the ribbon can be however long or short you want. If you want it to hang a lot, hang down very far, then you go longer. If you want it a little bit shorter, then you cut it shorter. And then we're going to just tie a knot. So what I'm going to do after I've knotted the top, I'm going to take the loop in and put it through. Then I'm going to put the knot area through the top and pull so it's all nice and tight. And now it is ready to hang. So that is how you frame a cross stitch in a hoop. So now you've learned how to frame a cross stitch in a hoop so you can display it. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure you check out our other videos. Bye!